Okay, video 4. Let's fix these problems that we're having. Obviously, between floors we don't have enough height, so we need to kind of start dealing with the floor elevation. So I'm going to go to the section. Probably the first thing is renaming properly our elevations. So you always have by the way, if you'd ask you after you rename it, is we like to rename corresponding views. It's basically because you're changing the name of that view. No? So I'm going to click there. I'm going to say 2.1. And I'm just going to delete this level. We actually don't need it, so let's just get rid of that. Cleaner. No. Let's go to the 3D. And let's select only the floors. Okay, I'm going to go to isolate elements so we can work with the floors only. No? I delete this one. I think I doubled it before. These are double too, but I actually want to use only one of them, so it's good. Why not? Delete the other one. So you could have many floors and start editing. The issue is how we start editing. I'm going to delete this one too. I'm going to try to keep it simple for purpose of recording. You can just select any floor and say edit boundary, and you can create the boundary of the floors. No? So you could select and create any other line you want. There you go. Start trimming TR between the lines. It's difficult to trim between curves and line. That's kind of a tricky thing in Revit. And that's it. I'm going to say OK. And in this one, I'm going to edit the boundary. And I'm going to, I don't know, I'm going to just delete this one. I mean, again, you could do a bridge between them. You can do many things as you want. But for now, I'm going to try to keep it simple. Okay. So, you know, this would be like a storage area underneath. You come in, you walk up here, you move here, you walk up there. Something like 2 stairs, very simple. So stairs are going to go level 1. How do we do a stair? The issue is that we cannot see from one level what's happening in the next one. So the idea of using in a level the underlay, when you don't have any selected, underlay allows you to see other levels at the same time in light gray, as you can see. So this is going to be one of my levels, but I could see, just level 2 as well, and it shows you the other level at the same time. This is the curve. Okay, so that's a very convenient way to work with. At the same time, I wouldn't recommend showing the underlays when you print at the end of the working process. Okay, so what we're going to do is now create a couple of stairs. So we want to do, let's say, a stair from level 1 to 1.1, from 1.1 to 2. Okay, so you always go to the level and you say architecture, stairs, stairs. I'm going to do a straight stair and then a curved one or something, or a curved one first and then a straight stair. Select the full step spiral stair. I'm going to just go up there and they're going to walk here. I'm going to make them like 2.5 feet, for example. It's a small space and it's kind of like an installation. So I'm going to click here. You can create and then move it actually, so it's not a big deal. I'm gonna click here. And when they're so small, you really, by the way, you need to make sure that you're going from the levels that you want. It's just trying to make the railings and everything, that's a little tricky. I'm gonna say okay. When you're done with the stair, it gives you the representation of, you know, where it's cut, you know, the up sign, and you can also select it and move it, which I use MV always. You can even move it here and snap and then rotate RO, which is this guy, and you can move this point wherever you want it to be and snap. There you go. So that could be my first stair. Let's see how it looks in 3D. I think it's a little like a weird space, probably storage or whatever. So we're gonna go up here and then we're gonna come up there. No, so I'm gonna go to level 1.1. We need to see underlay level 2. Okay, it's probably corresponding with this wall. So we're gonna do a stair straight, and what we're gonna do is just an L shape or any kind of stair. The stairs that work, wait, make sure again, level if you click once with the left button, I'm going to skip that because I'm going to make it a bit thinner. 2 and 6 to see how that works. I'm going to make this here. Why not? What it does is, as you move your cursor after clicking, it tells you the number of writers and the number or remaining writers as well. So you can go 5 and 6. So I'm going to do this, one click. Then here's going to be one click. It's telling me again that there's a problem with the writers and so. See in the 3D how that looks. So problems, obviously we're not cleaning that detail and not here, so it's an issue of cleaning up the floor plans and moving the stair a bit. So I'm going to go to level 1. I'm going to hide for a second this element so I can see properly where the floor is, and I'm going to select the stair, move, and I'm going to move it from here to that point exactly. Obviously this is not corresponding. I'm going to have to fix the floor. And we can edit the floor plan as we did before by just very simply deleting this line, creating another one from here. Here you can even do like a more fancy strategy. I'm going to trim TR and delete this one. So say okay. I'm going to go to level 2. I'm going to hide this wall here, hide element, so I can select the floor and edit the boundary, so I can make this a bit cleaner. I'll select line here. I'm gonna trim these two. Again, here's just we cannot trim easily, so I'm going to just gonna fake it and connect it there. Say okay. 3D. Better. Okay. So again, it's kind of an installation. So what about stairs? Stairs you can select actually the railings of the stair, and you can change the type of railing. So depending on the option it will be changing, as you can see. And either railing they could be actually different types if you want it for whatever reason, or they could be the same. That's one thing. Another thing you can change the stair is selecting actually the stair itself, and you can also change the type of the stair. You have the sample stair on the monolithic one, so it'll be cleaner. You can use either option. You can also have like the precast stair, which is essentially like components that are separated between each other. Let's use precast. Again, you can use either option as you wish. Good. So railings, how do we do railings? Well, railings is simple as going to the floor plan. You press on railing, and you can just start creating lines, whatever you want railings to be. By the way, I didn't have chain. You don't have to have it, but I think it makes sense to have a chain here. So you can do the whole railing. And just make sure the level is correct. You say okay. 3D, and there's railing. Railing obviously can change in terms of type. Keep it simple. Again, in every place you probably need a railing to not fall down, although it's not the goal of this class, more of having fun with the space. No, I say okay there, and railing again to make another one here, and another one here, which is in level 2. We say railing. It might be that this curve we're not going to be able to do it, but let's try. Yeah, so curves and complicated geometries the railing won't be able to adapt, but you can do approximations of the kind of a curvature that you think it is. So there is. So it only does perfect arcs or polylines, straight lines. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Change the type railing. And there we have it. I think it starts looking good. Obviously this project, let's turn everything reset here. Let's turn all of the walls here by selecting unhide category. It feels like we need to implement some other elements from the previous model. No? So let's turn on fast the conceptual masses, and let's just, probably use some of the elements. Let me turn on, go to wireframe here, and use some of this conceptual mass, which we haven't used more than for the floor. Let's do this. And hide category. So again, I'm going to just do some partitions so you understand this idea between partitions and so. So, well, let's select some partitions. Interior partitions you can select by face because this is what you're kind of selecting at the moment. It's telling you that you cannot see them. That makes sense because we could just hide the layer, but you can have some floating details around. Suggesting kind of a more interesting conflict between the different floors and walls and partitions, etc. And that way you will be kind of reusing in different ways the different conceptual masses. Select this one. Now some of them obviously they're gonna put me in trouble later on in terms of how complex they are, and and whether they will allow the space to work or not. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna escape that. I'm gonna hide this element. We're actually going to turn off the entire conceptual masses, and let's see what monster I created. I'm going to select the walls and unhide category. And obviously there's going to be some conflicts, and so a very simple operation is how we make openings in the wall. So if I actually do isolated elements, and we want to do an opening here, you can do it in a very simple way, just saying door. And loading a door, a special door, there is actually no panel doors, an opening space. No? So you can load family while you're in door options, and go to doors and select this door opening. Okay, you can select anywhere you want in the wall and increase that door opening. You can also select an edit type and duplicate it and call it a new opening or new door open, and you can change these parameters so they're actually huge. Something like 5 and 12. Let's see if that works. That's the rough height. We could change the height too, obviously, and that becomes like a huge opening. And if I go this and see the shaded mode, that's like a huge nice opening in the space. So you could start making openings in those weird doors, because unfortunately we cannot do wall openings by face, so it becomes a little bit of a tricky thing to do. Okay, reset. You could do also that, go into level 1 and start understanding how you're moving from one space to another. So say door, you can change some of the other options and clicking on some of the doors to create the openings. See, you can also get the new open door and go actually to the level 2, say door openings. You can select the new, that probably is a bit too big, but why not? You can make it also happen in this concrete wall. And you could also make an opening in the curtain system. So let me select the curtain system and isolate element. You can make an opening here. It's a bit more tricky. It's just you need to tap to select the panel, and you need to load a special panel that is called doors. So for that you go to doors, load family, you go to doors, and you search for these options. You see, single glass door or double glass door. So once you load it, you cannot place them directly. What you could do actually is tab until you get some grids to and eliminate the grids. See if it works. Huh. You can also select the mullions, uncheck and delete, so you have like a clear opening. Let me see if that works. I'm tabbing again, unlink and delete, unlink and delete, unlink, delete, unlink and delete. Okay, now I want to select those panels, and you know, you should reconfigure that. That could be just assigning the panels to be open panels, so you can say unlink and select it as a solid. You can use the door. Obviously it's going to be embedding the door in that small space, so it really wouldn't work, so small, no? But you can just make like an opening or so and make a door very easily here. Probably deal with that in detail more in class. Okay, I'm going to leave it there because the next step is probably more important, is how we take this mess and set of plans and elevations, etc., sections into Revit, into InDesign. Okay.